Brace yourself, guys. You're in for a long video. Before I start, though, I do want to say that if my mic quality ever sounds like it's totally shot and is just absolute crap, it's a built-in microphone on my laptop, so that's probably why. I don't have the expenses, nor do I have the setup in my current living space to actually get a mic and everything else I want for my recording hobby, I guess you would call it. So just bear with it until I actually have spare cash to throw into this YouTube thing. So yeah, just like last time, I'm going to be spending a couple of minutes, maybe even less than that, just explaining what the subject of this issue, I guess you would call it, is. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into that. Also keep in mind, I'm reading all of this from notes that I've made. So if something ever sounds like I'm, talking like a robot, that's probably cutting that out. That's probably why, in all honesty. So just bear with that as well. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and thanks for your support in advance. So yeah, let's get into this. Kingdom Hearts is a game franchise created by Square Enix and Disney, directed by Tetsuya Nomura. The franchise's first debut was in the early 2000s. The franchise has more spin-offs than main series installments. However, the spin-offs do explain and give you detail that the main installments do not. I personally have been a fan of the Kingdom Hearts franchise ever since I was a kid, around the age of 4 to 6. I remember being in my cousin's room as he was playing it, and I just fell in love with the style of the game. Up until I was 11 or so, I couldn't remember the name of the game or the character. I just remember the main character having baggy red pants, a key sword, spiky hair, and yellow shoes. When I was 11 years old, I got my hands on a Windows 7 Acer laptop and started playing online Flash player games, which eventually led me to find the protagonist, Sora. Once I found Sora, I looked into him as a character and found the game he was from, being Kingdom Hearts. And yeah, I've pretty much loved the series ever since. However, back onto the whole topic of spin-offs, this seems to be a problem that the franchise has, and hopefully won't have moving forward. Ever since the first spin-off, the non-main installment games have been jumping back and forth from console to console, forcing fans to buy random consoles that they more than likely will hardly ever use again. That, or just borrowing them from a friend. So, which isn't always the, well, it probably is the smartest thing to do, rather than going out and buying one, but, people can be picky with things and belongings, so I don't know. In hindsight, it may just be better to own one yourself, unless you and your friend are just like buddy buds. But anyway, I'm getting on. That part's not in my notes. Aside from this, the game franchise is extremely enjoyable, and I highly recommend it for JRPG fans, but beware of your usual power of friendship Disney routine, since this is technically licensed by Disney. Now, before I continue, let's go ahead and list the Kingdom Hearts games and what console they are for. Kingdom Hearts 2, PS2, Chain of Memories, Game Boy Advanced, Kingdom Hearts 2, PS2, Kingdom Hearts Re-Chain of Memories, PS2, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, PSP, Kingdom Hearts 358 Out of 2 Days, the Nintendo DS, Kingdom Hearts Recoded, the Nintendo DS, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, the 3DS, Kingdom Hearts 1.5, PS3, Kingdom Hearts 2.5, PS3, Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5, PS4, Kingdom Hearts 2.8, PS4, Kingdom Hearts 3, PS4, Xbox One. The first issue within the Kingdom Hearts franchise is the fact on how the sequel to Kingdom Hearts 1 was in fact made for the GBA. The original installment was made for the PS2, so forcing people to buy a Game Boy Advance for the second installment already turned off some new fans, granted if they didn't already own one. Then, sometime later, they decided to fix this problem by remaking Chain of Memories for the PS2. That wouldn't have been necessary if they just simply made it for the PS2 in the beginning, but oh well. The GBA and GBA SP sold well as one of Nintendo's best-selling handhelds, at least in my opinion. Throwing Kingdom Hearts onto it seems nothing more but like a let's dip into Nintendo's wallet kind of move. But granted, I don't exactly think that's how the gaming industry works. The franchise then kept on track with the PlayStation line, even going portable with Birth by Sleep. But then again, here comes the Nintendo DS. More than 2 spin-off games released onto the DS family line in total. One, in fact, ties a lot of missing holes within the franchise and is important to the average fan. not so important to Nintendo diehards who bought it cause JRPG for the 3DS! Reining things back in, Square realized the fans' plea and made all the games, except the 3DS one, playable for one console in the form of 1.5 and 2.5 for $60 a piece, which then became combined into one game for the PS4 just a couple years later, also sold for $60. But on the bright side, we got all the games in one place. On the not so bright side, they sold us out on $120. Or at least American dollars, but it's not called the same thing, but it's worth the same thing pretty much. So, yeah. Anyway, finally after 1.5 and 2.5, we get 2.8 for the PS4. This collection set not only has the excluding 3DS game, but a demo for Kingdom Hearts 3 and HD cinematic cutscenes of the mobile game Kingdom Hearts Key, which I actually didn't mention earlier. So, yeah. Now, we all wait patiently for Kingdom Hearts 3, set to release sometime in 2018 for the PS4 and Xbox One. Xbox One, why though? I mean, they literally just put all the games on one console family line just to branch out to the Xbox, whom the franchise hadn't crossed paths with anyway. If anything, the Nintendo Switch would have been more appropriate, seeing how the franchise has some relationship with Nintendo in the first place. Speaking of the Nintendo Switch, in an interview with Tetsuya Nomura, he said that the Switch could be a possibility for the game, but feels as if fans would react by emphasizing more of a priority towards the PS4 and Xbox One, which is basically just a more sophisticated way of saying he feels as if he were to port the game for the Switch, fans would simply react by saying, hey, no, PS4 and Xbox One is more important, make those before the Switch. So while it's sort of hope-bringing towards past Kingdom Hearts fans who now reside on the Nintendo side of things, it more than likely won't happen, for the reason that the Kingdom Hearts series always has issues with mass platforming, as brought up already. While moving on to a more familiar company's console could be more comfortable for fans, it would be feeding the fire to the mass platform problem, whereas Kingdom Hearts 3 doesn't fall into this since it doesn't have a PlayStation incarnation, or since it does already have a PlayStation incarnation, therefore not forcing fans to buy an Xbox just to play the long-awaited installment. That was one of the biggest paragraphs in my notes, so hopefully I didn't butcher all of that. So actually, next up here in my notes here, I talk about a couple of the interviews that Tetsuya Nomura has made, and some of the key subjects that he's talked about. I personally am going to tell you all, I've already recorded this video 4 times, and so I've already gone over this huge thing of notes 4 times, and I've actually gone over it more before I recorded the video when I typed it up and actually read it over for the first time. So I'm kind of sick of all these notes, and I kind of don't want to read every single plot in detail about, each and every single interview, but there's a lot of interesting things that I personally got from KingdomHearts13.com if you guys want to check all that out. But I will be talking about a couple of the things here that I have highlighted as important, so I'm going to be talking about that. So, to start off, the Toy Story World's percentage of completeness and quality was high enough to be seen earlier, but based on our PR, which is trailer plans, it wasn't shown until now. When they announced Big Hero 6, Nomura could only show one illustration because it was a somewhat sudden request. So this time, Nomura wanted to show a video. Well, I'm totally grateful that we got a video, but if Toy Story has been showable longer than Big Hero 6 has, why didn't they just decide to show Toy Story first and then Big Hero 6 now? I mean, Big Hero 6 was announced, I think, in 2015 at D23. I want to say it's been that long. I honestly do, because I did a collab with a friend of mine about it forever ago, and I've had a couple of channels since then, but that was like 2015. So I want to say, if Toy Story has been more showable than Big Hero 6, then to me, it seems like Toy Story should have been the pick to begin with instead of Big Hero 6, and Big Hero 6 could have been revealed now, because maybe we would have gotten a trailer for Big Hero 6, but who knows, it's all in the past. Next up, the production on the Big Hero 6 world is going well, though the matter of the last world selected is still ahead of them. Now, personally, if I recall, a couple days ago it was said that Big Hero 6 was the last decided world, whereas here it seems like they're talking about two separate things. It may just be, translation error and grammar and stuff, and I could be reading it wrong, but from my perspective, it seems like here they're talking about two different things. Because, they say production on the Big Hero 6 world is going well, however, the matter on the last selected world is still ahead of them. So it seems as though, even though Big Hero 6 is going well, they still have to decide what the next couple of last worlds will be for the game. Which is fine, because it means that the game still has a couple, probably 8 months left of development, and near the end of those 8 months is when they'll be pushing production for it, or production, sure, that's what we're gonna call it, but like pushing to sell it, with releasing trailers and more news and everything. Next up is multiple battle commands are displayed in the trailer because there is always a choice in what to do in battle. There's some tactical fun assembly combos for your choosing. It might seem tough, but I want to reassure you that you can pull off some fancy techniques with the right button combinations. I think this is directly Nomura speaking because he says I here, although it could be somebody else working on the game. Wow. The notes I have here says, giving players the ability to choose different playstyles while in real-time battle is great for multiple player experience. Final Fantasy XV is an example of a good game that follows this, but Final Fantasy XV is a whole different concept. Other games, like turn-based RPGs, apply as well, seeing how you, the player, determine how the protagonist does things, like in Pokemon or Persona. Next up, I actually have to scroll down a little bit here. Okay, the world where young Ericus and Xehanort are is an original world. Also, he mentions that Kingdom Hearts 3 will have less Disney worlds than Kingdom Hearts 2 in number, but they will be richer and more playable. So actually, I just realized something that I didn't have here in my notes, and I'm going to go ahead and say it before I forget it. This specifically says here, also he mentions that Kingdom Hearts 3 will have less Disney worlds than Kingdom Hearts 2. It doesn't say anything about, Final Fantasy, about any other Square Enix titles, however, it's going to be Final Fantasy. It doesn't say anything about, Kingdom Hearts original worlds, which, since Kingdom Hearts 3 is the end of the Xehanort saga, and it's basically going to tie things in, I would expect a lot of the Kingdom Hearts original worlds to be accessible, sort of like Castle Oblivion, Daybreak Town, The World That Never Was, Twilight Town, Traverse Town, Destiny Islands, and I think there's a couple more in there, but my point's been made. So, anyway, going off of my notes here, the first part of the sentence where it says, the world where young Ericus and Xehanort are, that's more than likely talking about this scene in the trailer from before where they're playing a chess-like game, and it's more likely to be Daybreak Town or pre-Castle Oblivion. I couldn't remember its name at the time when I wrote down the notes. But more than likely it's going to be Daybreak Town or I forgot what it's called in Birth by Sleep, but the place turns into Castle Oblivion, so pre-Castle Oblivion. Next, there are so many characters, so the story is dark, and he is not planning to end it all at once. I'm guessing he is Nomura here. A lot of these articles or whatever go back and forth between he and I and etc. So I don't exactly know who's saying what, because I didn't dive into all the articles myself. I just looked at the subject and decided, hey, I'm gonna talk about the subject. So apologies for not being 100% ready for it, but anyway, here we're talking dark. Are we talking dark in the sense of like Shiyun's death? Because if so, that'll be fun. That'll be like really heart-wrenching for a lot of the fans. I myself am a sucker for sob stories, especially in video games and fantasy games. So, if Kingdom Hearts 3 makes me tear up, I'm going to declare it as possibly the best RPG I have ever played. Yeah, so. However, I assume the article means that each character arc won't all be ending at once, since it says at the end he is not planning to do it, or to end it all at once. Which is good, because if everybody's story just happened to be solved with one swipe from Sora's Keyblade, that in turn would be pretty boring. Next up, each character story must be settled. This will involve members from the former Organization 13. So here we have character arc news. While it is good to see, that each character arc will resolve, but again, hopefully not within the same manner. Just to list things off, here are a couple of character arcs that need explained within Kingdom Hearts. Terra, Aqua, Ventus, Roxas, Naminé, Vanitas, Xion. Pretty much of half of Organization 13, and Sora's I am unsure about any of the Kingdom Hearts Key characters, mainly due to the fact that I feel as if Kingdom Hearts Key is nothing really but filler, so I actually haven't seen all of it or played all of it, but yeah, I mean, I know that the game has DLC, so to me, I would feel like, I don't feel like I'm being, it's a pay-to-play type of thing, but it's, the reason why I love Kingdom Hearts is because of the story, and if I have to have a game on my phone that takes up 3/4 of my storage, I mean, I can't even call my girlfriend without having to delete the app, or pay iCloud for extra storage, so I mean, that's mainly the reason why I'm not into Kingdom Hearts Key as much, even though all of it was turned into cinematic cutscenes, and I have that accessible. Like, I can go into the room that in my house that has my PS4 and watch those cutscenes. I've just never been driven to do it. So, next up, and these are the last couple notes here that I have, Nomura is not directing anything else besides the announced titles, but he is involved with many, which is totally great. We need him focused on this game. Kingdom Hearts 3 was revealed in 2013 and has changed, hopefully for the better, drastically since. Final Fantasy 15 was and has been his biggest concern for the longest time, so it's about time that Kingdom Hearts 3 finally gets going. This is the next note. Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, or Key, the 5th Union Leader chapter has been written, and it will be released early August. So I don't have this part in my notes, so I'm going to say this before I forget it. It says here it has been written, and it will be released early August. So two things about that. It sounds like a Bible quote. It has been written. And secondly, this proves that Nomura is a man. It proves that he's made mistakes. It proves that he's, he doesn't exactly know what he's going to do with the franchise. He's not some mastermind that's planning all of this, 15, 17 years in the future. So it's not heartwarming, but, it's not awe-inspiring either. But, it's like a nudge saying, hey, he just finished this. He just finished adding to the story because, he wanted to add more to it. So to me, that's a humbling thought that, he just finished writing Union Leader, the 5th Union Leader chapter. However, I'm sure for a bunch of Kingdom Hearts Key fans, that's like heaven news to them of, oh my god, because honestly, I don't know anything about the Union Leaders. I know that they resemble animals, and some of the animals actually coincide, I guess, with a couple of the characters. Like, I guess the unicorn one is Riku. I'm not exactly sure how that all works out, but anyway, continuing off of my notes here, I have in quotes, will be released early August. And this better not be Kingdom Hearts like 2.9 or anything like that. Now, again, I'm all for new content regarding Kingdom Hearts Key, mainly because it could grab my attention more, but for the love of Xehanort's white, crispy wrinkles, make it DLC for 2.8 or Kingdom Hearts Key. Just don't make it pay to play. And then lastly, here I have Nomura would like to give us more information about Kingdom Hearts 3 battle mechanics later, which is great. Kingdom Hearts 3 battle information later more than likely could tie into a surprise thing that was earlier in the article that I didn't talk about, but cool. There are some aspects of battle that confuse not only me, but the fan base, as well as how this is all going to work. They're including a lot of content into the battle system, mainly from Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance, fitting both, and attraction commands may be a lot, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of it got cut. which is harsh to say because Kingdom Hearts has a lot of juicy stuff behind it, so fitting it all into one game would be extremely pleasing to fans, but don't be shocked if a couple of attraction commands or if some things just were cut from the game, if data miners find, get on the Hydra's back as some type of, special code or something. I mean, it honestly wouldn't shock me. It honestly wouldn't shock me. But it would be great for a Did You Know Gaming type of thing. So keep in mind, I haven't even scratched the surface of Kingdom Hearts news within D23. Tetsuya Nomura has spoken a lot just about Kingdom Hearts 3 in general. He's talked about a higher tier of magic, athletic flow, the release date, the gummy ship, and more. And if you want to check all of that out on your own and, dive into it, then feel free to visit KingdomHearts13.com. And on that note, this is Jake logging out. Peace.